Welcome. In this video, we'll be covering how to solve a reaction equation, along with going over the necessary knowledge of chemical notations needed to solve and understand a reaction equation. To explain chemical notations, we'll be using oxygen as our example. As you can see, there's a small a in front of the oxygen and a lowered letter N behind it. The small a is commonly called the coefficient and represents how many molecules of a substance there are needed for the reaction to occur, or how many molecules of a chemical we get after the reaction. And it's typically the number you'll have to find when solving a reaction equation. The lower letter N represents the number of a certain atom in a chemical and cannot be changed when solving a reaction equation. This is probably better shown in an example, so let's look at an unbalanced equation. Here we can see the reaction of O2 turning into O3. This is a reaction of dioxygen turning into ozone. In this problem, we must find the coefficients, which once again are how many of each molecule is needed for the reaction to be balanced. The coefficient will, in this example, be represented by the small letters A and B. A method we'll be using is to draw a chart. We'll start by adding in the amount of each atom we have. On the reactant side, the left side of the reaction arrow, we have 2 oxygen atoms. On the product side, the right side of the reaction arrow, we have 3 oxygen atoms. Now, in order to find A and B, we'll multiply 2 from the reactant side on the product side and 3 from the product side with the reactant side to get 2 times 3 and 3 times 2. As we can see, these two calculations both equal 6. If we insert the multiplications into the reaction in the place of the coefficients, we can see that we now have a balanced equation. If you wish to see more examples of reaction equations being solved, then I have made a video of just that, which can be found in the iCard in the top right corner or down below in the description. A few other things of note before we end this video. There are a few other notations you might see in a reaction equation, such as phase state of a substance. This is noted by a small letter in brackets placed behind the chemical, with there being 4. Gas for gases, such as seen in our equation, liquid represented by an L, solid represented by an S, and aqueous being represented by a Q. Aqueous means that the molecule is dissolved in a solvent, typically water, but the solvent can also be noted by being written under the reaction arrow. Additionally, above the reaction arrow, a catalyst can be noted. This can be a molecule, but also a physical phenomenon. An important note is that the catalyst never becomes part of the product. The reaction of O2 and O3, for example, has a catalyst, which is ultraviolet light. There is also charge, which you might see as a chemical notation, but that'll be covered in a different video about ions, which can be found in the iCard in the top right corner of the screen. You may also see a dot symbol occasionally when working with chemical reactions, and very simply put, it means that the molecule after the dot is trapped within the intermolecular interactions between the molecule in front of the dot. But when solving a reaction equation, or working with it in other ways such as stoichiometry, it should be considered as part of the same molecule. That's all for today. Please be aware that if you want to see similar problems to those you'll face when working with reaction equations being worked through, then a video about just that can be found in the iCard in the top right corner, and in the description down below. As always, feel free to like and subscribe. Feedback, questions or suggestions down in the comments below. And as always, have a nice day and good luck with your work.